Hello and welcome to episode 168 on the Online Trainers podcast. Today's topic is proximity equals power. Hello and welcome to the Online Trainers podcast, where we go behind the scenes to uncover the latest tactics and strategies top trainers around the world are using to get more clients, dominate their marketplace, and get their clients amazing results. There is absolutely no fluff here. I'm your host, Lynn Trin. Now, my friends, I'm sure you've heard of the saying, you are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself by. And I didn't really get this. I didn't really get this for a long time. Like, I got it conceptually and I understood the quote. But really inside of my life, I didn't really understand, okay, how do I make this shift? How do I stop spending time with people? How do I stop spending time with the people that aren't serving me? And more importantly, how do I get around the people that I want to spend more time with? Like, you know, if it is as simple as picking up my stuff and leaving and hanging out with Richard Branson all day, right, and Tony Robbins, why don't I just do that? And so the reality is, my friends, that it becomes a lot harder than that, because when I was a personal trainer, I hung around with PTs inside the gym, right? They were my friends. We created bonds, we created roots, we created emotional connections and all of that really cool stuff. The last thing that I did, right, the thing that probably killed me was that I valued the opinions of people or whose lives I didn't want to live. And so for a lot of the times I was limiting myself, because the people that I was surrounding myself back at the gym, I was valuing their opinions so much. I was scared of what they think of me. I was scared of the way, right, I would go about training clients, just in case they would tease me because I didn't train them a style of way of that they approved of, right? It got to that point. And so I'm sure you're feeling this right now, because, you know, like if you're leg pressing and you haven't squatted in 3 days, holy crap, the world's going to go nuts. Right? And so this is what naturally happens inside of our PT environment. We then become limited because we care so deeply about what others think of us, who are inside of our environment, who are inside our proximity. And the reason is, we care because we have to be there. We care because we are going to be there and there is going to be trouble, right? So this, for a long time, this is what held me back. I cared so much about what other trainers thought I was going to do that I wasn't willing to try and test new things. I was so scared of judgment about the people around me that I was unwilling to go out of my way to try what I really wanted to do or explore different options, right? Just even the thought of exploration was out there. There's no way I would, do a walking lunge with kettlebells, God forbid. Instead, I have to use the barbell, right? Just small nuances like this that we're surrounded ourselves by inside of the environment that hold us back. And so when we look at these things in terms of, our mental state, our emotional state, there's a lot of stuff that's holding you and I back right now. Okay, and if we don't look at them, then we will never progress to where we actually want to be. And if you're listening to this podcast, you and I both know that you're in the top 1% personal trainers around the world, right? You wouldn't be here after 160 episodes if you did not want to improve your mindset, if you did not want to improve your ability to think, if you did not want to improve the results that you're getting inside of your business. That's why you are here. So the number one lesson that I can share with you today, okay, number one, start acting upon your thoughts. What does that mean? Well, the thought could be, do not take the opinions of the people whose lives you don't want to live. Okay, so I want you to look around you. And there's always that 1 to 2, people or persons that will be holding you back. There's always 1 to 2 people that you think of first when you're trying to attempt something. Even if you can't think of it, it's in your subconscious mind. Whether it's your colleague, whether it's your partner, whether it's your mum, whether it's your dad, whether it's your cousin, whoever it is, that they're naturally got this instinctive power over you. Right? And I want you to think about inside your life, who is that person? And really think to yourself that, would you want to trade places with them? Would you want to live their life? Do you know about their life? Do you know the truth? First and foremost, you might be thinking that they live this wonderful life. You're like, of course, Lynn, of course I want to be them. That's who I've cared. But have you dug deeper to really realize the truth of what life they're currently living before you take the opinions of their life? And the reasons why I want you to explore that is because sometimes things aren't looking as good as they are on the outside. And a lot of people live these lives with their facades up, with, pretending that they're living amazing lives, yet in reality, their life is miserable. They're not happy. They need to be in power. They need to have other people under them for them to succeed. They need to feel like that big bully. They can never let anybody who outgrows them, they're banished. They're bad. And so the reasons why I say this is because in order for you to change, right, your proximity, you need to understand the truth. You need to understand the emotional truth of what this is doing to you right now. And more importantly, how you can slowly remove those roots. So the first thing I want you to really think about is getting to the core truth. Is the person that's denying you, is the person that's, the person that's judging you, that you feel judged by, is the person that you're trying to, crave love from, do they have a life that you actually want to live? Is their life the ideal life? And if it isn't, then why are you listening to them? Either one, they're talking about things that they have no idea of, right? Or number two, they're talking about things they have no freaking idea of. Because they're not living the life you want to live. And for most people, and here's a fun fact that most people, overweight, depressed, disease, okay? And so my question to you is that the life that you want to live? Because the average person, it's sad to say, the average person lives a very, very mediocre life, and the average person dies wishing that they did more. And so if you are taking the opinions of an average person, that's what you're going to get. You are going to die with regret. Okay? You are going to die wishing that you lived more, wishing that you'd done more, wishing that you impact more, wishing that you served more people. And I'm not here to just tell you on another motivational podcast. I really want you to think about it logically and intellectually, that right now there are roots inside of your environment that are holding you back. And in order for you to really break through them, you need to see the truth. Now, in order for you to get the truth, you need to do some soul searching and action taking. You need to be able to take the action today and have that courage. Because without facing the truth, you'll never know. The truth is, number one, do you really want to live the life of that person that you're taking advice from, or the person that you fear being judged from, whoever it is? And fear, this thing, is that we create so many stories inside of our minds that hold us back, and they weren't even true. Sometimes the truth is actually digging out the story that's floating inside of your mind. Maybe that other person out there is okay and they're harmless, and what you've done is you've created this big boogie monster that now has control over you because you were too paralyzed, too fearful to take care of anything. The truth is going to set you free. So when I realized this, it was absolutely no judgment whatsoever. It's just I needed to get to the truth in order to break free, to start doing the things that I wanted to do. And so I find that from my own personal experience in coaching others, I find that power, or proximity equals power. If you can remove yourself from your environment right now and detach, that is the first step to changing. If you want to start becoming and moving towards more powerful people inside of your opinion, because all of this is subjective, who becomes powerful is completely up to you, then you need to set it as a goal and you need to start focusing on them. Start focusing on how you can actually be around that. And when you have that focus, guess what? You start, right, to allow energy to flow, and you start becoming more resourceful, and you start finding ways that you can start spending more time around the people that are actually going to bring you up and not the people that are going to bring you down. So with that being said, proximity equals power. Do not forget that. Do not ever, right, underestimate the importance of that. And I say this to a lot of my clients. I say, hey, if we were to spend 6 months together, if you were to spend 6 months with me, we're going to live together, we're going to breathe together, we're going to do work together. Do you think, yes or no, that you could not create this 7-figure business that you wanted to do? Judging, right? Judging from the things that you've seen and how I operate on a daily basis. Yes or no? All of them say yes. Sweet. So then success is determined by your environment right now. What do we need to do? We need to change your environment take you away from things that are not serving you, take you away from the opinions of others who are not serving you, and bringing you to the right people who are actually going to serve you. And once you understand this, the game will change for you. Okay? The game will change because you're no longer in an environment where you feel like you can't do an exercise because you're going to be judged. That's just physically, right? That's just the physical environment around you. But then you have to think about the mental environment. There's two things here. There's the physical, there's the things that you can see, there's the things that you can't. And generally, most of the time, it's the things that you can't see which are stopping you and holding you back. Okay? So, with that being said, that's food for thought for today. I want you to go and think about it. I want you to go and action that right now. Alright, if you enjoyed this podcast, please leave me a 5-star review on iTunes and feel free to leave a review, and that way I can respond and I can take that on board in developing content to serve you. Now, if you're not a part of the Online Trainers Club on Facebook, please do yourself a favor and be a part of the conversation. That's where I add daily tips, tricks and strategies on how you can build out funnels, how you can get more clients and ultimately become a better online coach. Thank you for listening.